This generation. But the grandchildren may think that you have already arrived, and then they begin to flex their muscles, and then you will have a very different China. So I put this question to them. They said, no, it won't happen. We'll tell them. Teach them all the lessons. You know, the grandchildren never listen to grandfathers. So that's one problem. The other problem is a more crucial one. If you start off in the belief that the world has been unkind to you, that the world has exploited you, that the imperialists have devastated you, looted Beijing, done all this to you. One day you get to the top table, you'll square accounts. Well, that's no good. I think you must get a generation to grow up and say, look, you're not going back to old China when you were just the only power in the world, as far as you know. Rome was far away. And the Silk Road, well, you can't invade each other. But you are now going to grow, let's say in 50 years, with an economy, total GDP more than America, easily more than Japan, but per capita still low. But you are just one of many other powers, many of them more innovative, more inventive, more resilient in meeting with changes in technology and changes in social lives and so on. So I tell my American friends, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about them today, democracy and so on. Leave it to them. You've got tens of thousands of bright Chinese students in America. You give them a bad impression, a bad time, they'll go home nursing a grievance. You accept them as friends and say, look, this is one world, global warming. We will be in trouble, you will be in trouble. AIDS, terrorism, chemical weapons, nuclear weapons. It's a different world. China will not be the sole power. But sometimes, I'm not talking about people at the top, I think they understand this, but the people at the bottom, middle ranges, when the Deputy Prime Minister, our Deputy Prime Minister, who's now Prime Minister, went to Taiwan, the barrage of vicious articles on him on the internet from young students was intense. Suddenly, from a good old friend, we became a brand new enemy. Overnight. That gives us cause for reflection. So I said to some of my Chinese friends, I said, look, you better tell your young people, if you say we are old friends, then we have to stay old friends for a long time. You can't say, suddenly I do something which you don't like and we become an enemy. I'm not sure if they can get the young people to understand that, because they are growing up in a different China, a China which they feel is going to come up very quickly, 崛起. I'm not sure it's going to come up without troubles. I think enormous social problems will crop up, disparity, corruption, all sorts of problems. But the crucial question that the world wants to know is, having arisen, or having fully developed, what kind of a China, what kind of power is it going to be? Because by then you'll be 1,500 million or 600 million, educated, organized. It can become. Now they keep on saying, we're not going to be a hegemon. Never. No, I believe it for their lifetime. But as I think of the young attacking us, I think overnight I became an enemy. How is that? So I explained it to my friends. I said, no, when you do that, you annoy 1.3 billion people, 13 亿. That caused me to pause again. So when you annoy me, you have only annoyed 4 million people. But I thought you said all countries, big and small, are the same. So I begin to have doubts about that. But never mind, I think it is still in the formative stage. And if I were America, Europe, and Japan, I would spend time to make sure that the mindset of the younger generation is not one of hostility, but one of acceptance and an understanding that you are now a stakeholder, which was Bob Zwelig's very apt description of their role. When they were called a stakeholder, they asked me, what is a stakeholder? I said, it means you got a stake in it, and if it goes down, you will lose money. I said, after some time, they said, yeah, that's right. So stakeholders are a good idea. So make them feel they're stakeholders, and if this earth goes warm, they're in as much trouble as anybody else.